Back to the Forward Together podcast. We are back. It has been a crazy last couple of weeks between the holidays, New Year's, snow and ice. A lot of stuff going on, but we wanted to make sure that we got back together after some travel to bring you a New Year's show. So let us be probably not the first. We actually might be the last. But Happy New Year. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Jamie. And along with all of those other things, you and I both had a little bit of sickness over the holidays that we had to battle with, and so my voice is still getting back to normal. So it's good to be back in the studio with you today.
Nice. I'm excited to be here. So we got a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on with us the last couple of weeks, which would encompass like all of our Christmas and New Year's travel. Both of us, at least I have definitely a busy week coming up. Talk a little bit about the playoffs we have for college and the pros, and then get into that word of the week. So kind of starting off, it's been a busy season. I know we saw each other very briefly on Sunday, but you were under the weather, so we didn't actually chat that much. So how was Christmas, New Year's with the family?
Yeah, awesome. We had a great Christmas. We went to my parents' house a few days before Christmas, and then we were and had time there with my parents and got to go see my sister. And then we were home Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and home for a few days, and then went to Tennessee to be with my wife's family for several days on her side of the family and have Christmas with them, and came home at New Year's. And so it was a great holiday this year. Got to see everybody. We all got to be together, and it was great. How about yourself?
Awesome. So a lot of stuff going on. So first, give a quick shout out to Legacy Remodeling. Got the sweatshirt going on. You could even say this is the Legacy Studio since they got it all painted up for us. So kudos out there to Matt. So as a lot of people know, I do their social media and some pictures. So we had a Christmas party for them. We had a church Christmas party, which was great. Staff gets together. Went to my parents' house for Christmas. Went over to the barbers for Christmas, New Year's. Let me tell you guys, for a lot of you we do this early. I'm an early riser. Didn't get anywhere close to midnight, but was glad the New Year came in. And then for me, coming up this week, I have a lot of work travel. So I'll be in Dallas, Salt Lake City, Idaho Falls, and then I'm meeting Stacy in Houston so that we can actually have Christmas with our girls and granddaughter. So a little late going into January, but get to have our kind of immediate Christmas with them. So super excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't
And then
wait.
in the middle of all that, we had our first significant winter weather that we've had in, I guess, 2 years since we've had this much disruption, at least. So about here in Rocky Mount, we got about an inch or so Sunday evening, Sunday night of snow, and then it stopped and changed over to sleet, freezing rain all night. Woke up Monday morning to kind of a glistening scene outside. It was beautiful, but it caused a lot of disruptions in our county. A lot of folks, even on this recording, are still out of power, and so we wish them the best and hope, and our prayers and thoughts are with all the linemen and the people out there working hard in this storm to get the power back on for our folks.
Man, a lot of disruptions. So Monday, Stacy, Stepping Stone doesn't close.
Right.
365 days a year, so we had to get out. A lot of ice, and then as we got out to Morgan Clay, which takes you out to Webster, the main road, there were 4 trees down, so I had to go grab a chainsaw that was able to cut, they were all the way across the road, so I was able to cut enough out to get us out. Yesterday morning, we had about a 40-foot pine tree snapped in half. That was across the driveway. So some of New Year's resolutions, those kind of things, was to get to the gym. Y was closed, but I did get a good workout being a lumberjack. And also, I believe it was the state, but whoever came out and cleared out the road, today's Thursday, I guess that was Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday during the day. Today's Wednesday. Monday. So totally screwed up since everything's been closed. Man, you guys did an amazing job. When we went out yesterday morning, even though we had the one in the driveway, the road was clear. I mean, you couldn't even tell. Trees had fallen over. I don't know when those guys came and did that, but shout out to you guys working out in the freezing cold, getting all that cleared up. We appreciate it. You guys did an amazing job. I don't know who called them. Don't know how they knew. I didn't call anybody. Just cut my way out and kind of went on with life. But it kind of brings us to the next topic of I know me and you, we talk about goals and we have goals for 2025. My January has not started off in regards to goals and stuff between the travel, a little bit of illness for both of us, not kind of being under the weather, the ice, things being closed. How do you kind of track your progress and goals over the course of the year? Do you use anything to stay organized?
Yeah, so I'm like with you. Like to me, it feels like we're really just trying to get the New Year traction going.
Absolutely.
It's like getting back into the routine of things, being able to be on the podcast today. So one of the best tools, practical tools that I have used to stay organized daily, weekly, monthly, is a daily planner, and the specific brand of the one that I've used probably since 2020, maybe 2019. Some guys in my covenant group that I have, they turned me on to this one that they use. It's called a Clever Fox planner, and also they have a Clever Fox journal, which I have that as well. And so I track in there my daily routines, and then so it'll have the day by day on one side, and then over here you can like track your daily habits, things that you want to make sure, like in the course of a day, I want to do these things. Check them off, and then it lays out the month. You can look at that, and then month to month. And so I use that for a lot of things. So with ministry, with keeping up with like mileage, like look back over the month when I do my ministry report. Look back over the calendar. I go to my calendar, look back, see where I went. The mileage, where I traveled. When I have to do my ministry report, as far as if it was visits I did or special services or anything like that, I could go back and use that. So I kind of have everything. I kind of use one thing. So I know a lot of folks like to use phone apps, but I'm a kind of a paper pencil kind of guy. So I kind of write it all down. Yeah, write it all down. But my daily, like to stay organized and make sure I'm staying on top of things, I write like every day. So I'll put down like a certain time that I want to start my day. I want to get up at this time. Did I do that, or was it later? Kind of track that. Prayer is, of course, at the top in the scripture. So being prayer, scripture, my prayer journal that I journal. Like I said, I have a journal, so doing that. Exercise or getting a workout in during the day of some sort. It might not happen all 7 days, but at least about 5 out of 7 try to do that. Then this year I've added a couple more things I want to try to do. One of them is to drink a certain amount of water every day. So try to stay good and hydrated. And that's kind of a goal for this year.
I use Diet Coke as my water.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Diet Coke as well, but trying to focus on make sure I get the water in and the Diet Coke. And then spending time with the family. So I just try to track those things every day. And that's worked really well for me for several years. I kind of have those like year to year, so I can go back if I like, when did this happen? Well, I can go back and look, oh yeah, it happened this day. So how about you? I mean, what do you use?
So I'm a little bit of both. So I don't have a cool name for mine like Clever Fox. Maybe I'm a dumb squirrel, but I have this weekly. It's kind of on a binder, and it's kind of cool. So usually on Sunday morning when I'm getting ready to talk, I will look at my work. I live off an Outlook calendar. Everything for us that way is electronic. We have meetings and stuff we can't miss. So what I'll do is this thing, it covers your 5 business days. It has like your weekly priorities, a habit tracker, and then it's kind of got like what you want to do on the weekend. So I kind of schedule out my Monday through Friday with like workout, podcast, really my get up time, which is between 3:45 and 4, depending on the day. And then what I'm doing that day. And then like my weekend plans, if me and Stacy have plans, if I have YouTube videos to shoot, that kind of thing, kind of go up there. Then my habit trackers, like working out, running, and then trying to get back into a daily devotional. So that's kind of my paper one. I have the work. And then for a long time, for many years, I had an iPad that I kept my personal kind of like calendar on. So I have a new iPad coming in. I'd always had one for work. And then when I had to give that up, I really hadn't got a new one, so I try to get back in the habit of that. So I wish I could kind of combine those, but work is work.
Yeah,
I can't really get away from that one. And my work calendar is so full, I actually don't want to mess it up with even. I have 2 different apps in my phones for calendars because it's kind of work and then personal. So a few different ways. I don't know. There's people busier than me, and I'm busier than a lot of people, I guess. I try to stay on top of it. A lot of stuff going on. I know you called me last night and I actually had, because I do work remotely. A lot of positives in that. The downside is when everybody else has been off the last 2 days, not me. Like I'm just down in my basement working away. So I had college yesterday till like 6 p.m., which is a little odd, but all my bosses and most of those folks are in the central time zone. So anyway, it's busy. That's how I stay organized.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And so another thing I failed to mention was one of the goals I have every year is like reading, like besides scripture, like
Right.
books I want to read and get through in the course of a year. And so I do track, crack a book every day? You know, I may not read a whole chapter, but if I just read a couple, 2 or 3 pages, at least I'm making daily progress. You know, it's that slow incremental progress throughout the year that really pays off. And so let's just encourage you, you know, we try to be helpful on this podcast and give you some ideas of things that we do. We don't have it all figured out. Jamie says, you know, we're busy. I guess we live full lives. You know, people that if you go in our world today, everybody's busy. Everybody's saying, "Oh, I'm busy," and like that's important. You know, that you're a busy person. Well, we just try to live full lives. Just try to, you know, obey the Lord and what He's given for us to do for that day. And so these are just little things that we do to kind of help. So, yeah.
You know, I learned busy is like the weather. You know, people, it's when it's cold, you complain it's cold and you want it to be hot. When it's hot, you complain you want it to be cold. Busy's like that too. If you got nothing to do, you're like, man, I'm bored, I got nothing to do. And then when you're busy, you're like, man, I got so much to do. I wish I had some spare time.
Yep.
Anyway.
Not been bored in a while.
No, it's been.
Laney is 15, so yeah, I've not been bored in a while. About 15 years.
I don't know the last time I was bored. Which leads us into, we got some playoffs going on. I actually don't remember my 100% of the picks I had for the college football playoffs that I did, but I know I was close. I think the way I talked about the games worked out to be pretty correct. Arizona, man, the call goes a different way.
Great game.
I thought I don't really think Texas deserved to win, but that's kind of the way the world works out. So I think we got 4 teams. No, we got 8. Yeah, we're down to 4 teams. I have a picture because
the Texas was a meltdown and a half. In the second half, I was kind of pulling for the Arizona State just as a Cinderella team to pull that upset off. That to me has been the game of the playoffs so far.
I agree. It was also interesting. Then we'll get on to the 4 teams that got byes. All lost.
That was crazy.
I do think there's a massive difference, and you know, people joke sometimes about when there's a great college team, they can beat pro teams. Never happening. People are dumb when they talk about it. There's a reason why pros are pros. And I think these college kids with that much time off, the first halves of at least 3 of the 4 games, the team that was off, like the second half, they probably crushed the team. But they got so far behind in the first half. I really do think it took those college kids a little bit to get back in the flow.
Yep.
And I do think that's the difference between college and professional. When you're a pro, like you got to be able to turn it on.
Yeah.
And each of those teams has a few pros, but I do think it's hard for as a team to come in. So we got 2 games.
4 teams left. What you got?
So we're going to go Texas, Ohio State. Again, I said this in the last podcast. This pains me to say Ohio State's best is better than anybody else has left. Texas, they have great talent. They are not better than Ohio State. I'm going to go Ohio State there. Who you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm definitely not a fan of Ohio State, but I'm going to pick them in that game. My original pick was Georgia. They're out. My Cinderella team was Boise. They're out. So I'm going to go Ohio State. In the next game, I'm going to go Notre Dame, and then I'm picking Notre Dame as my national champion.
So I don't like Notre Dame or Penn State. I think Penn State's the most overrated team over the last probably 7 to 8 years. Everybody's always like, well, they got in the playoffs because they're always like the 6th or 7th best team. Yeah. They're still the 6th or 7th best team. They got super lucky with their draw. I'm going Notre Dame. And then, again, Ohio State, I cannot stand them. They're the best team left. I look back over the year, the first Oregon-Ohio State game, one of the better games of the entire college season. I'll never understand how Ohio State lost to Michigan. And then the second most inexcusable or unexplainable loss was Notre Dame losing this year to like that FCS team or whoever. Ohio State wins the national title. Makes me sad, but they're the best team left.
Yep. And then we got the NFL playoffs starting this weekend. We got some wild card games on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, there's a lot here, so I'm going to go through. I'm going to read them off. We won't get into long things about them.
No.
So, Chargers, Texans, who you got?
Texans.
Going Chargers. Quarterbacks really came down to
Harbaugh's got them in the playoffs.
Yep.
We'll see.
Chargers win. Steelers, Ravens.
I'm going to go Steelers. I'm going with my heart on these picks, not who likely will win.
Ravens better team, Steeler win. Lamar Jackson, maybe the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Never gets it done in the playoffs. Steelers, Broncos, Bills.
Bills, for sure, 100%. I got Bills, yeah.
Unless Josh Allen doesn't play, Bills 100%. Eagles, Packers.
I'm Packers, definitely not pulling for the Eagles.
Love got hurt. If Love doesn't play, they have zero chance. If he plays, I think he's still hurt. I don't like the Eagles, but Eagles win. Commanders, Bucks.
Yep. I think I got the Redskins in that one. Oh, what happened Sunday
What do you mean what happened Sunday?
in the game? Dallas and did you catch that?
No, but hey, super
yeah.
happy that Ashley didn't. Cowboys won. No, who won?
Washington won on the last play of the game.
Yeah, see, I didn't see the last play. Ashley, glad you got to see a great game, though.
Hail to the Redskins. She's probably not watching this.
I know she wouldn't get this far in, but hey, we're glad you had a good time and you had at least an entertaining game to watch.
There you go.
Commanders at Bucks. Man, it's hard for me to ever pick the Redskins. I really like their quarterback, though. He seems like a good dude. Love the revival of Baker Mayfield. Bucks win. And then the next one, this is interesting. Vikings, Rams.
Minnesota's tough. Minnesota's very good. But Detroit put it on them Sunday night. It was quite the blowout in the second half. So I'm still going Minnesota there.
Vikings are at the Rams. Rams, even though they're at home, never have a real good home field advantage. Technically this would be an upset, I guess, because they're a away team. But I'm going to go Vikings for no reason. So
we, out of all those games, if you notice, we only had two that we agreed on. That was the Bills and the Vikings.
Hey, we did have some sad news. Read Ricky Henderson passed away, so I'm not a big baseball fan anymore. It's just really hard for me to watch. But back in my high school days, loved Ricky Henderson. So it was sad to see him pass away.
Yeah.
That was the A's were like a dynasty. Used to love watching them play as a kid.
That's been a few weeks ago, but I wanted to mention it. You know, Ricky was one of these players that it was funny because he always referred to himself in the third person.
Yeah.
He would always say Ricky is doing this or Ricky's doing that.
He's like a wrestler.
Even after he retired, I read an article about Ricky Henderson after his passing. It was in the paper, and the author had said, if you take, I think Bill James said, if you take Ricky Henderson's stats and you take his 3,000 hits, you could divide him into two players, take his 3,000 hits in one player, and everything else he did, stolen base wise, runs scored, total bases, and you have two Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And he gave off this list of potential all-time baseball teams, and there was all this list of outfielders, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, all these guys that could be playing in the outfield, of course, that deserve to be out there, Mantle. But how can you not have Ricky Henderson in left field leading off on your all-team, all-century team?
Oh, he was amazing. Like I said, I mean...
And one of the things about his stolen bases was, imagine for over 20 years, and even up until your mid-40s, diving headfirst, sliding headfirst. They said it was like over 2,000 times. The punishment his body took, sliding into second base, sliding into third base headfirst every time. Taking a wear and tear on you. But he looked like, even in his mid to late 40s, even into his 50s, I don't remember how old he was when he passed, you'd see him on TV, he would make appearances, and he still looked like he could play.
Oh, yeah.
Like he still looked like he was so fit that he could go out there and do better than a lot of left fielders that are playing today.
I always felt like he looks like an NFL running back. He was thick.
Yeah, he was.
Thick.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up with
Hold on. How many days?
39.
Okay.
We are under 40 days. 39 days until the Daytona 500. It's even less than that until the clash at the clashes at Bowman and Grace Stadium in Winston-Salem this year, and that's February 2nd. So,
all three people are excited.
Yeah. If it is still this cold come February 2nd, there's going to be some cold NASCAR fans in North Carolina.
Cold tires, right? Bad for traction.
It's going to be interesting. All right, the word of the week. And so we started off Sunday. My voice was not as strong as it is now, but the Lord helped me to get through the message Sunday. I shared a word, and it was an interesting title that I just felt like would get our attention, get our focus. I call 2025 a year of wasted time. And what I mean by that is not wasting ourselves with like binge TV or junk food or social media, but wasting ourselves liberally, giving ourselves into the presence of God. That you're wasting our time liberally, that we're going to go get in our prayer closet. It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter. We kind of lose track of time because we've been worshiping, we've been in God's presence. And that's the kind of year that I'm wish for our church and for you as believers that are watching us today. So with that, Psalm 63, verse 1, O God, you are my God. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. And so just thinking about early in the year, early in the morning, early in your week, always setting aside these times to seek God. So early in your day, starting off the day, spending some time in God's presence, in the Word, in prayer. Early in the week, most of us worship on the Lord's Day, which is Sunday. So it begins the week off on the right foot. Of course, that's just our corporate time together. And then early in the year, in our church, starting today actually, is setting aside several days in the month of January to have a consecrated time of fasting, prayer, and then we also have the Word on Wednesday nights as well. And so kind of setting aside early in the year that in January we're going to really consecrate ourselves. We're going to really devote ourselves to a focus. Do you remember the definition of consecrate you shared with us Sunday?
Dedicated to divine purpose.
Dedicated to a divine purpose. Good job on the spot there. So the divine purpose this year of really focusing on God and being dedicated to that and seeing what He wants to do in our lives, in our families, and in our churches. So hope that's encouraging for you as we begin the week. We may have been a little long this morning, but we're glad that you were with us. The first podcast 2025 is in the books.
That's it. That's the pod. We'll see you back next week better than ever. Like and subscribe.